Cyberpunk 2077 was one of the most anticipated games of the decade. From the creators of The Witcher 3, the hopes were high and sometimes unrealistic. But in 2020, CD Projekt Red were finally set to unleash the game that had reportedly been in the works for around 8 years, since the release of The Witcher 2, I believe. On December 10th, 2020, Cyberpunk 2077 was released. The release was, to put it lightly, a disaster.
Can't deny it, it's all true. But everybody still wants to live here. This city's always got a promise for you. Might be a lie, an illusion. But it's there, just around the corner. And it keeps you going.
Commonly referred to as one of the worst gaming releases of all time, especially compared to the hype. A project that saw Keanu Reeves take on a major role and also get on stage and call a fan breathtaking.
You're breathtaking! You're all breathtaking!
Alongside a trusted developer in CD Projekt Red, how did they let this game release in such a state? Cyberpunk 2077 launched with countless bugs, both minor and game-breaking, frequent crashes, and at times it was just completely unplayable on the previous generations of consoles. We've all heard the story. A rushed development cycle by the higher-ups at the company forced the release out of what was simply an unfinished game. Yet there was promise there. The developers weren't quite ready to throw in the towel on a game they'd spent a decade developing to this point. Now, it's time to travel to the future, or I should probably say the present. Past the refund saga and the next-gen upgrade, which did see most of the bug-related issues fixed in 2022. In September of 2023, Cyberpunk 2077 was finally released. At least the Cyberpunk we were originally promised. The 2.0 patch completely overhauled the game, improving the gameplay features, reworking the perk system, enhancing combat and everything surrounding it. We finally received a finished game, and one that has seen praise even in a year filled with incredible video games such as Baldur's Gate 3 and Tears of the Kingdom. While the game should have never been released in its original state, and it is by no means perfect, it is commendable work from the developer team itself to have put effort in to fix all of these issues, at least the ones I personally had a problem with in the original game, while also delivering a fantastic experience with the brand new expansion Phantom Liberty, which also stars Idris Elba. A lot of star power in this game. Of course, no such praise goes to those responsible for the original disaster, the higher-ups at the company. Let's just hope nothing like this happens again with CD Projekt Red. Cyberpunk 2077 is far from the only game that has seen vast changes in order to improve after a disastrous launch. No Man's Sky is probably the biggest culprit and the most popular case study on the situation, and it rightly is praised for how its continued support has helped the game to thrive. Cyberpunk will now see its own period of thriving occur, with many coming back to the game for a new playthrough for the first time, or to tackle the highly anticipated and, now we know, critically acclaimed expansion. Something we know CD Projekt Red does really well, Blood and Wine being a big example of this. Now, what can we learn from all of this? Well, the first thing is to probably not release a game in a stupidly bad state and hope the hype can carry it forward. Bethesda being a big culprit of this. But maybe the lesson is also transparency. Letting your fans know you need more time and won't push out a game that is still years off reaching what it should have been. Maybe Bethesda is also an example of this with the new Elder Scrolls. maybe it's also a lesson for the developer to keep supporting their title. And I don't mean in the live service sense of support. We don't need another Avengers game, but at the very least, providing something to bring the fans back in a big way. You know, when Cyberpunk was originally released, many were scared that CD Projekt Red would just drop the title completely and let it rot, especially after the announcement that much of the post-release plans were scrapped completely, including a multiplayer expansion, I believe, or at least a mode of some sort. But they did the complete opposite, and that in turn has earned them good faith among the gaming community. Now, we have a game with minimal bugs, great gameplay, and an engaging story that I personally can't wait to jump back into myself. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us know about your experiences with Cyberpunk 2077 2.0 and the Phantom Liberty expansion, and also maybe let us know what you thought of the original launch of Cyberpunk 2077. I know there are a lot of people that didn't have as many issues with playing on PC, but I'd love to hear about all of your experiences there, and also tell us what you'd like to see us discuss in a future video. We're always open to suggestions from anyone in the comments.
Just don't forget, the game is fixed. I am a great with the way, whether 22 or the 38, that is 60 ways for you to die. Best of cool, your bitch, go get